Be still for a moment because I am speaking, and it is not by accident that you are here right now, reading these words at the very time your concern is rising. I see the weight on your chest when the room gets quiet and the questions get louder, and I want you to know this. You are not being called into fear, but into awareness. What I reveal to you will come with peace, not panic, because I do not guide you through pressure, but through clarity, and I will steady you before I show you what to do. You sense a loved one drifting, and the ache of it has tried to turn into urgency that burns rather than warms. Feel me lay my hand upon that heat and cool it. You are right to notice the change. You are right to feel the pull. But hear me, your first assignment is not to chase, not to accuse, not to scramble. Your first assignment is to breathe, to become present, and to let peace anchor you so your perception can sharpen. I will teach you to observe without suspicion, to listen without leaping to conclusions, to see the pattern without turning your love into an interrogation. Someone or something is pulling them away. This is the story question rising in your spirit, and you are discerning it correctly. Yet do not name a culprit before you gather light, and do not let fear script your next sentence. There is a difference between panic and discernment, and I am training you in the second. You are not overreacting. You are not imagining it. You are not failing them. You are not late. You are not powerless. You are not trapped between silence and explosion. You are being invited into a wise stillness that keeps your heart soft and your steps steady, because steady love is stronger than sudden force. I am not asking you to ignore what you feel. I am asking you to hold it with me. I will show you how influence works quietly before it works loudly, and I will show you where your home has been whispering clues that you walked past in haste. But the foundation must be set now. Peace first, then pattern. Gentleness first, then guidance. Bridge first, then boundary. There is a way to help them return that protects your heart and preserves their dignity, and it will unfold step by step, not by pressure, not by fear, and not by control. There is no need to rush. What is meant to be restored will not disappear when you choose wisdom over reaction. If you agree to begin from peace and not panic, type Amen. Let that be your first act of authority, an agreement with calm discernment. As you do, feel your breathing slow and your attention clear. I am with you in your own home, in your own thoughts, in the quiet places where you have felt alone. Together we will keep the bridge strong, your hope guarded, and their path home visible. This is where we begin. Be still for a moment and listen beneath the noise, because the pull you feel rarely starts with thunder. It begins as a small turn of the heart, a quiet reorientation that shifts schedules and softens convictions in ways that are easy to excuse. I am showing you how influence works quietly before it works loudly. Isolation arrives first as "I'm just tired." New secrecy arrives as "it's nothing." Tenderness thins into distracted nods, and the tone toward home and faith becomes slightly ironic, slightly impatient, slightly distant. This is how a wedge enters, through inches, not miles, and your home has been whispering the changes in how doors close, in how eyes avert, in how shared spaces feel less shared. Peace, not panic. Notice, do not pounce. Not all change is danger, and I want you to release the fear that growth itself is a threat. Healthy change explores, learns, asks, and stays anchored to love, even while stretching its reach. But there is a pattern that asks for your steady attention. When curiosity is replaced by confusion, when exploration hides behind concealment, and when difference begins to carry contempt, you are not looking at simple growth. You are looking at a guiding hand that is not for their good. Confusion plus concealment plus contempt is a warning pattern. It is the contour of a wedge, not the shape of maturity. And I am training you to see it without shaming them. Pay attention to the pressure signature because influence leaves fingerprints. After certain rooms, certain voices, certain screens, they return a little more drained, a little more brittle, a little more defensive. Opinions that were once nuanced turn absolute, phrased as everyone knows, or that's just how it is, and the space for conversation narrows into yes/no lines that punish your questions. Watch the before and after of specific spaces, how they leave, how they come back. Do they guard their time more tightly but with less joy? Do they laugh less and react faster? Pressure has a sound. It speaks in urgency without wisdom, in certainty without peace. Hear me. Your family member is not your enemy, and your war is not with their face. The adversary of reconnection is the wedge. Shame that tells them they are already disqualified. Addiction that trades comfort for control. Manipulation that floods them with fear of losing belonging. And unresolved pain that argues that love always wounds. Hate the wedge, not the one you love. Speak to their core, not to the mask the wedge wants you to fight. So slow down and observe. Keep a gentle log in your heart or on paper of patterns, not isolated moments. What preceded the withdrawal, what followed the defensiveness, how warmth returns when certain inputs pause. Clarity grows through gentle recognition, not interrogation. Light exposes without burning. If you want your discernment to rise without creating conflict, type yes if you want clarity without conflict, and let that be your agreement to watch wisely. You are not late, you are being taught early, while the shifts are still subtle and the bridge can be kept strong. I am with you as you notice, and I will give you language that preserves dignity while revealing truth. This is how the quiet pull loses power. You see it, name its pattern, and keep your love free from accusation so the path home remains open and bright. Be still for a moment and look around the place where you live, because your home is a map that has been marking shifts before words could admit them. The calendar with more crossed-out dinners than circled ones. The table that used to be cleared and now stays half-set. The hallway where doors once stayed ajar and now click shut with a practiced quiet. These are not accusations. They are coordinates. The wedge does not march in with banners. It enters like a draft under the doorway, and the air in the room changes before anyone can name why. You are not being called into fear, but into awareness, and I am teaching you to let the room speak. Notice new routines that reorganize affection without explanation. Missing shared meals are not only about food, they are about shrinking points of contact, about the small rituals that knit people into one another. Pay attention to closed doors that stay closed longer, to laughter that used to spill and now stays caged, to the glow of screens late at night and the groan when a simple "How was your day?" lands like a chore. Earbuds that used to come out when they entered the kitchen now stay in through the whole conversation. A device that lived in common space migrates to the bedroom and becomes a gatekeeper. None of this is surveillance, it is wise noticing. Peace, not panic. Look gently at the relational symptoms. Fewer eyes meeting yours. Less humor, irritation sparked by soft questions that never used to bruise, a sudden rewriting of family story as if love were always control and support were always criticism, as if the best chapters never happened and only the hard pages remain. When you hear, "We never did holidays right," or "You people never understood me," and you know the tenderness that was there, see that something is trying to recast history, so belonging feels unsafe. Do not argue the memoir in the moment. Remember it, and let it mark the map. Now hear me on the replacement phenomenon, because this is where the wedge gains leverage. A new voice becomes the primary counsel, a friend whose approval feels like oxygen, a romantic voice that promises rescue while isolating, an online group whose language supplies ready-made certainties, an ideology that offers identity if family is the price, or even a habit that becomes a teacher, substance, spending, scrolling, tutoring them in escape. You will hear it in phrases like, "They said," "Everyone knows." That's just how it is. And you will notice schedules bending around that source. The pronouns change before the address changes. Their room begins to host a conversation you cannot hear. Do not react to the surface behavior. Attend to what it is protecting. Is it fear of failing your expectations? Is it a craving for belonging that punishes any space where they feel unknown? Is it a need for control after seasons where they felt powerless? Is it escape from pain that has not yet been named? When you see the symptom, ask yourself quietly, what is this guarding? And let compassion, not accusation, answer. Take a practical step now. Begin a private observation journal that belongs to wisdom, not worry. No spying, no stalking. Simply write dates, times, and gentle notes. What preceded the withdrawal? What voice, room, app, or plan seemed to shape the mood? What after effects followed? Tenderness returning after time away from the input, or brittleness deepening after repeated exposures? In a week or two, patterns emerge that single moments cannot show. Light exposes without burning when it is steady and kind. Type 333 if you are ready to notice without becoming suspicious, and let that be your agreement to keep your heart soft while your eyes become clear. You are not a warden, you are a watchman. You are not building a case, you are building a bridge. Your home will quietly show you the pattern if you allow peace to lead the seeing. Notice with wisdom, not surveillance, and I will give you language in season and boundaries that protect without punishing. For now, keep the map, keep the calm, and keep the door of your own heart open, so when they test the way back, they find it. Be still for a moment and let me speak to the shaking inside you, because the strain you feel in your own chest is part of the strategy against your house. I see you replaying old conversations, measuring every moment you didn't push harder, wondering if a different word or an earlier boundary would have prevented this drift. Hear me. You are not a bad parent. You are not a failed spouse. You are not a disappointing son or daughter, a weak guardian or an unworthy leader. You are not being punished. You did not create this wedge by loving. You are not late. You are being invited to lead from peace now. You have carried the fear that you missed the first sign, and that fear has tried to rename you. I remove that name. You have not failed. You chose with the light you had, and I am giving you more light now. Guilt pretends to be responsibility, but it is not the same. Responsibility acts with clarity. Guilt spirals with accusation. Release it. Lay it down. You do not need to hurt yourself to help them. Let me steady the ground under your feet, so your voice can be calm and your presence can be safe. Understand this pattern so you can break it. Panic makes your tone sharp and your timing off. Anxious words sound like control. Control feels like confinement. Confinement awakens rebellion, and rebellion deepens the pull you are trying to resist. When fear drives your sentences, you become the echo of the pressure that is already chasing them, and the wedge uses your urgency as evidence that home is unsafe. You are not called to win by force. You are called to outlast with steady love. Peace, not panic. Breathe with me now. Inhale slowly, as if drawing in calm from the center of the room. Exhale longer than you inhaled, and let the urgency exit with your breath. Unclench your jaw, lower your shoulders. Let your voice find the tone you use when you bless, not when you brace. You do not have to fix this today. You need to keep the bridge strong today. This posture invites return. This is authority that does not shout. It steadies the air. Set your goal clearly. You are not trying to win an argument. You are preserving a relationship while you gather clarity. You are keeping a path open. Speak to the person they are beneath the pull, and let the bridge carry your care without splinters of accusation. Ask questions to understand, not to corner. Offer time, not ultimatums. The heart returns where it felt seen and not shamed, where it remembers softness and not scrutiny. When you release guilt and panic, you become that refuge, and safe places are where people return. If you agree to choose steadiness over spiraling, type peace. Let that be your small, strong act of alignment. And when waves of fear rise again, as they may, return to this breath, return to this tone, return to this intention. I am a safe place. I am a calm bridge. I am led by peace, not panic. I am with you in this, and I will keep your heart steady while we bring them home. Be still for a moment and let me place tools in your hands, because clarity comes through careful questions and calm listening. Clarity, not confrontation, exposes the real pull. You are not being called into fear but into awareness. And when you speak from peace, not panic, the heart on the other side can breathe instead of brace. Ask slowly, ask gently, ask as one who wants to hold, not to corner, and you will see what has been working in the shadows without turning your love into an interrogation. Begin with this. What has felt heavy lately? Ask it with your shoulders lowered and your breath unhurried. This question opens a door without putting them on a witness stand. Let them answer in layers. Do not rush to solve. Listen for the wait words: tired, overwhelmed, stuck, pressured, and notice if the heaviness always tracks back to a certain room, a screen, a plan, or a person. Mark the listening signs. When they say everyone or always, generalization is often hiding a specific source. When they repeat phrasing that does not sound like them, it may be an echo of a voice that has become louder than yours. When they avoid details, the wedge may be teaching them to keep things vague, so it cannot be named. Do not press, just notice and let light expose without burning. Then ask, with no jealousy in your tone and no trap in your timing, who do you feel safest with right now? Safety reveals counsel. If a name or a group becomes the only place that gets them, pay attention to the fruit that follows time with that influence. After they are with that person or in that space, do they return more peaceful or more brittle, more honest or more evasive? Peace is a test. Truth can be firm and still carry calm. Manipulation wears urgency like armor, pushes contempt like a shield, and threatens withdrawal to gain control. If you hear, "If you loved me, you would," right now, or "They said I should cut off anyone who questions this," discern the difference between healthy privacy and isolating secrecy. Peace leaves room for questions. Pressure punishes them. Finally, ask this with honor. What do you wish we understood about you? This restores dignity. It invites them to name their longing, their fear, their boundary, and their becoming. Do not defend your history in that moment. Receive their words as a map. Often the wedge will offer them a story where they are finally seen, but at the price of despising home. When you hear pain you had not recognized, say, "Thank you for telling me. I want to understand." And let repair begin around what is true. Hold your tone like a lantern, curious, not prosecuting, slow, not rapid fire, gentle, not cornering. Ask one question, then let silence serve you. Do not stack inquiries until they feel hunted. Wait, breathe, and listen for the markers, generalized claims, borrowed phrases, and the fog of non-answers. And in all of this, keep using the peace test. Steady truth increases safety. Manipulative influence decreases it, demands instant allegiance, mocks what shaped them, and leverages fear of abandonment. If what you uncover carries abuse, coercion, or threats, hear me clearly. Boundaries are protection, not punishment. and wisdom seeks help. Safety planning, professional support, and enlisting trusted allies are not signs of weak faith. They are expressions of faithful stewardship. I do not ask you to ignore danger in the name of patience. Close doors to harm with firmness and calm, and keep a dignified path home visible. Type wisdom if you want truth with gentleness. As you do, feel me steady your timing and soften your tone. I will give you the right question at the right moment, the patience to hear what hurts, and the courage to draw lines that guard love. Move with me, peace first, then pattern. Bridge first, then boundary, and the real pull will be seen, and the way home will remain open. Be still for a moment and let me place the bridge in your hands, because your words must preserve connection. When the bridge stays intact, the pull loses power. I will teach you a simple order that holds dignity on both sides, and if you keep this order, pressure will lose its advantage. Move like this, a firm love. Name what you noticed, ask permission to share concern, invite their perspective, offer support, and set one small next step. Peace, not panic. Bridge, not battle. Begin with affirmation, because belonging is the first plank. Say, I love you, you matter here. Then name what you noticed without verdicts. I've seen you pulling back from dinners and staying in your room more. Keep it descriptive, not accusatory. Ask permission. Is it okay if I share a concern? Consent lowers defenses. It signals you are not here to dominate. Invite their perspective. What does it feel like on your side? Listen until you could summarize their heart fairly. Offer support with clarity. I'm not here to control you. I'm here to understand you. I won't shame you. I want to protect you. Finally, set one small next step, not 5. Could we choose one evening this week for dinner? No heavy talks, just food and a movie? Small steps keep the path walkable. Use phrases that keep the bridge strong. Say, I'm interested in your why. Help me see what feels heavy. If something I've done hurts, I want to repair it. I don't need instant answers. I need honest ones. Your safety and our peace matter more to me than being right today. Your tone should say, I am with you, not over you. Avoid the shortcuts that break beams. Do not launch ultimatums in the first conversation. They feel like cliffs, not bridges. Do not use sarcasm. It sounds like contempt wearing humor. Do not confront in public. Exposure breeds shame, and shame runs. Do not gather allies to corner them. A crowd feels like a trial, not a talk. Do not use spiritual threats. If you loved God, you'd, because fear of divine rejection is not my way. I draw with kindness and truth, not terror. When defensiveness rises, do not chase it. Reflect it. Say, I hear you feel judged, or I can see this feels like pressure. Then pause, breathe, return to a shared value. We both want safety. We both want peace in this house. We both care about your future. Ask, would a short break help? And resume with a softer tone. Defensiveness often melts when it is named without punishment and when the conversation keeps dignity intact. Keep micro goals humble and frequent. Short check-ins that last 5 minutes. Shared meals without debate. Neutral activities, a walk, a drive, a grocery run, where side by side eases face to face. Send small texts that say, thinking of you, proud of who you're becoming, no reply needed. Consistency without pressure retrains the nervous system to associate you with safety again. The bridge strengthens through gentle repetition. Type bridge if you're willing to speak with patience. As you do, feel me settle your timing and season your words. I will give you sentences that carry peace. I will show you when to be silent, and I will highlight the one small next step that keeps the way home clear. Keep the bridge, and the pull loses power. Be still for a moment and let me place strength in your hands, because boundaries are not walls of rejection. They are doors with locks that protect what is holy while keeping a key for return. You are not being called into fear but into awareness, and what I reveal to you will come with peace, not panic. Healthy boundaries do not punish a person. They restrain the chaos that tries to claim them and your home. They tell manipulation, secrecy, and unsafe access, "You cannot rule here," while saying to the one you love, "Your dignity and our peace matter, and there is a clear way back." Here is how to build them without fire or theater. One sentence boundary plus calm consequence. Clear, brief, consistent. Not a speech, not an essay, just a steady line you can repeat without raising your voice. Speak it once and then do what you said. Consistency is what makes a boundary a shelter and not a threat, because predictability calms the nervous system and removes the wedge's favorite fuel, confusion. Use simple frames like these. In this home, we speak with respect. If disrespect continues, the conversation pauses and the plan is rescheduled. We do not exchange money in secret. If funds are requested without transparency, the answer will be no until we can review it together. No isolating rules from outside voices are allowed here. If a relationship demands you cut us off, visits will happen in shared spaces or not at all. No substances in this house or around children. If you bring them, you cannot stay today. No coercive access to devices or accounts. If pressure appears for passwords or tracking, devices will be secured and access removed. These are not punishments. They are protections that keep a path open without letting harm walk through. Hold the posture I'm giving you. Open door, not open chaos. Your heart remains available. Your thresholds remain guarded. You can say, "You are welcome to talk, to rest, to be seen." You are not welcome to tear, to hide harm, to use pressure as a passport. This is how love stays strong. Affection without appeasing abuse. Mercy without enabling manipulation. Patience without surrendering safety. When you deliver the line, keep your voice steady and your breath slow. Do not bargain with the boundary in the moment. Do not stack extra rules. Do not lecture. One sentence, one consequence, repeated as needed. Say it like a lighthouse, not a siren. Over time, the house learns the rhythm. Truth is firm and kind here, and the bridge is guarded, not broken. If danger reveals itself, abuse, threats, stalking, coercive control, hear me clearly, escalate safety, involve trusted support, counselors, and appropriate authorities, document patterns, adjust access, seek shelter if needed. Wisdom is not a lack of faith. It is faith made visible in protection. You are not overreacting when you secure what is sacred. You are part of a story that did not begin with you, and what you guard today protects generations. Your boundaries honor the sacrifices that built this home and preserve the future you are still writing. Type 777 to receive courage to protect what is holy in your home. As you do, feel me settle your backbone and soften your face. I will help you close doors to harm while keeping a clear, dignified path for their return, and I will give you timing, words, and resolve. Peace, not panic, every time you need them. Be still for a moment and listen to the older language beneath your house, because you are part of a story that did not begin with you, and that story still knows how to call hearts back. I am not asking you to argue someone home. I am asking you to awaken memory. Belonging is an anchor, and when the waters pull, identity holds. There are pieces of your family's past that still speak quietly even now. Loves that endured, prayers that were whispered over cribs and dinner tables, hands that worked so you could rest. And I will use these threads to steady what feels frayed. Peace, not panic. Story, not struggle. Sometimes the answers you are searching for are closer than you think. resting in places you pass by every day. Your home is a map, and it shelters artifacts of who you are together. A photo from the trip where everyone laughed until they cried. A recipe card in handwriting that steadies the room. A song that used to play while you cleaned on Saturdays. A blanket that warmed late-night talks on the couch. These are not props. They are gentle witnesses. Lay them out like lanterns, not like evidence. Let the house remember out loud. Offer memory invitations, not guilt trips. Set the favorite meal on a quiet evening without a speech attached. Place a photo on the table and say simply, "I love this day." Send a short message that names their best self. "I saw your courage when you stayed with that hard class. I admire how tender you are with kids. Your humor lightens this home." Revisit a simple tradition, a walk after dinner, a board game, the first day of the month candle that says we still know how to be us. Do not weaponize nostalgia. Do not say, "Remember when you cared." Say, "I cherish who you are." Love does not corner, it invites. Here is why it works. Harmful influences often begin by rewriting identity, recasting history as only pain, and painting home as the cage instead of the cradle. The wedge whispers that belonging requires erasing your roots, and that new loyalty demands contempt for where you started. Legacy answers without shouting. You were loved before this pressure. You were seen before this script. You have a name that is older than this moment. When you stir memory with tenderness, you restore truth to their inner story without direct combat. Light exposes without burning. Choose a home object as a bridge, not a lever. A letter a grandparent wrote about perseverance. The heirloom mug always used on good news mornings. The stitched quilt with initials along the edge. Even a simple item, a ticket stub from the concert you attended together, can become a doorway. Place it where it can be noticed, and when the moment opens, say, "This reminds me of who we are." Ask, "Would you tell me what you remember about this?" Then listen. Do not force the meaning. Let it rise. If tears come, let them be rain on dry ground. Understand the pacing I bless. Not sudden miracles, but meaningful discoveries. Not a single reunion, but a series of small turnings. The heart loosens in increments as safety proves itself again and again. Keep your invitations light and your presence warm. Repeat the meal, send the quiet text, play the song. Tell the story of the ancestor who forgave, who rebuilt, who stayed. Legacy is a patient teacher, and it knows the way home. Type family. If you believe love can rebuild what was shaken, as you do, feel me settle a long memory across your house. I am rethreading identity through tenderness and time, and I will use your story, past, present, and future, to guide them back, piece by piece, step by steady step. Be still for a moment and let me help you name the pathways without placing shame on the person you love, because understanding the root of influence gives you a map for the return. You are not being called into fear, but into awareness, and what I reveal will come with peace, not panic. Hear me. They are not foolish, they are human. They are searching for belonging, relief, identity, or escape from pain, and the pull knows how to offer counterfeits that feel like oxygen. When you can say clearly, "This is digital," or "This is romantic," or "This is social," you stop fighting shadows and start guiding with light. When the pull is digital, echo chambers and parasocial voices, you will often hear new absolutes and feel new isolation. Nuance disappears, replaced by sweeping declarations. Everyone who disagrees is toxic. This is the only truth. Real ones know. Phrases arrive that sound imported, and compassion thins into contempt. Nights stretch longer with the glow of a screen. The device migrates from shared places to hidden corners. Camera anger and password secrecy spike. Plans bend around live stream drops or group chats. Resistance to being offline grows sharp and defensive. Do not shame the screen, strengthen the soul. Invite co-watching that asks, what do you appreciate here? What concerns you? Rebuild analog rituals, walks, meals, crafts, service that return nervous systems to calm. Create gentle tech boundaries, charging stations outside bedrooms, shared spaces for devices, agreed upon quiet hours, while offering alternatives, a mentor offline, a club that nurtures their gift, counseling that dignifies their story, light, not lecture. When the pull is romantic, enmeshment or control, you will notice shrinking laughter at home and growing fear of displeasing the partner. They check messages like oxygen, apologize for wanting family time, cancel at the last minute with borrowed excuses, or say they don't like it when, even about harmless traditions. Opinions narrow to mirror the partner's. Wardrobe and schedule are rewritten without joy. Privacy becomes secrecy, and isolation is framed as us against the world. Move with honor. Affirm their worth. Your voice matters. Your boundaries are good. Offer safe check-ins and exits. Code words, a ride ready, a reason to leave without spectacle. If coercion appears, threats, monitoring, financial trapping, escalate support, counselors, advocates, trusted leaders, appropriate authorities. Hold a boundary on respect in your spaces while keeping your door open for honest conversation and rest. When the pull is social, peer pressure, or substance-driven community, you will hear speech change toward mockery of former values, see money leak through cash apps and last-minute splits, and watch late-night patterns reshape mornings into fog and promises into apologies. Joy depends on the next event. Old hobbies go dim. New weekends orbit bars, basements, or parties where blackout is the punchline. Respond by strengthening alternatives, not just deleting options. Invite steady peers, reawaken dormant talents, and seed commitments that build self-respect. A league, a class, a service team, recovery or support groups that call courage out by name. Set clear house lines. No substances here, no impaired driving, no cash on demand, paired with offers of rides, meals, and mornings that begin again. In all three, hear me, discernment is not a witch hunt. Do not recruit the whole family to attack. Build a small, wise circle that prays, listens, and acts with unity. Document patterns quietly, keep the bridge strong, and let boundaries be steady, not theatrical. Type light. If you want what is hidden to be revealed gently, I am lighting the specific path at work so you can meet it with peace, provide truer belonging, and keep a clear, safe way home. Be still for a moment and listen, because I am going to speak briefly with urgency, then return you to the slow strength of peace. Your attention is a gate, and the pull is always trying to rush through it first. When clarity arrives, timing matters. Do not let spirals steal the window I open. Protect your attention. Guard your timing. Move with calm readiness, not with panic. Why are over 19,547 people suddenly using a simple focus reset to interrupt destructive spirals in conversations and in their own thoughts? Because scientists say it activates an ancient part of the brain tied to threat and attachment, quieting the alarm long enough to choose wisdom. Harvard-backed, lab-noted, life-shifting, this 9-second pattern clears the fog so you can hold your line with love. I have allowed a concise guide to surface for you. Click the link in the description and comments before it's deleted, because tools that calm the nervous system help you keep the bridge and hold the boundary. Type focus if you receive this. Here is the reset in plain steps for when your heart starts racing in the kitchen, on the couch, or at the door. Plant both feet flat, feel the ground. Exhale longer than you inhale. 4 in, 6 out. Soften your jaw. Name 3 things you see, 2 things you feel in your hands, one sound you can hear, then speak these 9 words under your breath. Peace leads me now. Love protects. Wisdom sets timing. Say it once like a key turning quietly. In less than a minute, your mind's attention gate shifts from alarm to awareness, and you can choose a sentence that preserves connection instead of a reaction that fractures it. I am not calling you into obsession, but into readiness. Peace, not panic. You do not have to become a technique chaser. You do not need to monitor every breath or measure every moment. This is not pressure, this is preparation. Use the reset when the room starts to spin, when texts stack up with heat, when a tone tries to herd you into instant compliance. It is a pause that returns you to me, so your words can carry oxygen, not gasoline. Hear me clearly. Tools are supports, not saviors. The real power is still love that keeps the bridge, boundaries that guard what is holy, and prayer that covers minds and steps. The reset opens space, but your steady presence fills it. Act with calm urgency when clarity arrives. Send the check-in text today, schedule the simple dinner, set the 1-sentence boundary, secure devices wisely, loop in the trusted ally. Do not delay what peace has made plain. Protect your attention and your timing, and you will move with authority that does not shout. Type "ready" if you accept this timing. Click the link in the description and comments before it's deleted. Take the tool that steadies you, and then return to the path I have already given you. Love, boundary, prayer, because this is how we keep a clear, safe way home. Be still for a moment and receive, because I am covering you now, and I am covering the one you love. You are not being called into fear, but into awareness, and what I release over your house will come with peace, not panic. Hear me. Prayer is not a last resort. It is your covering and your clarity. It strengthens your love, it steadies your boundaries, and it lights their pathway home. I place my hand upon their mind. I quiet the storm of borrowed words, and I still the spin of urgency that is not from me. I expose deception gently so it breaks without shattering them, and I lift the fog so they can see the difference between kindness and control, between freedom and flattery, between truth and performance. I awaken a hunger for what is real. I rekindle the desire for home, not just a location, but a place of safety, honor, and honest love. Let the voice of contempt go dim. Let the memory of belonging come forward. Let their thoughts be guarded, their sleep be restorative, and their attention be reclaimed by peace. I set protection over their steps. Where traps have been laid, I reroute. Where predators posture as friends, I remove access. I close the door that harms and open the door that heals. I place delays where danger was accelerating, and I accelerate what is good. Support, wise counsel, truthful friendships. I place guardians over the digital thresholds, feeds, chats, DMs, and I dampen the signal of anything that aims to isolate. Their going out and their coming in will be held by calm wisdom. I steady you, the keeper of the bridge. I lift the weight of guilt and silence the voice that says you have failed. I anoint your words with gentleness and weight, so you will speak calmly and be heard. I give you patience for the long work and courage for the clear boundary. I remove bitterness so your no is clean and your yes is kind. I train your breath and your tone. I put kindness in your eyes and resolve in your spine. You will not be baited into panic or bribed into passivity. You will move with quiet authority that does not shout. I do more than remove. I replace. I call forth new community that builds instead of breaks, safe mentors who see and strengthen, and counselors who help heal the root wounds, rejection, loneliness, fear, the need to appease. I revive gifts that have gone quiet, and I restore identity, beloved, brave, honest, whole. I pull on legacy with tenderness, memories, stories, names that speak truth over shame, so they remember who they are and whose they are. Now receive the peace seal. Let peace be your confirmation. If a path presents itself with panic and chaos, pause. If clarity arrives with quiet assurance, proceed. I mark your doorway and your devices, your table and your texts, with calm readiness. Breathe and know that I am guiding, step by step, in timing that protects. Type Amen to agree with this covering. Type 444 to claim protection over your household. And now, be commissioned in simplicity. Send the gentle message today. Plan one calm meal without an agenda. Schedule the counsel you've delayed, or write your one-sentence boundary and keep it where you can see it. I go before you, I stand beside you, and I hold behind you. Keep the bridge, guard the boundary, pray with steady authority. Peace, not panic. Clarity, not chaos. Love will lead them home.